Hey everyone, welcome to Cowabunga Ranger Talk. This is our Halloween special, and we have a special guest today. We have Mark Richardson. Also, David's here, and I'm Mascara, and let's get to it. Everybody say hi.
Hey, how's it going?
Buddy. Hey, wait, it's called Cowabunga Talk?
Yeah,
Cowabunga Ranger
Cowabunga
Talk,
Ranger
yes.
Talk.
Cowabunga?
Yeah,
Ranger Talk.
All right. Where did Cowabunga come from? Do you know?
Ninja
Yeah,
Turtles.
well, yeah.
Not Ninja Turtles.
No, I know it. It's an old-fashioned surfer term.
Yeah, it's from
Yeah,
Murph the Surf. Rick Griffin was
there
the
you
artist
go.
that came up with him. Yeah, I was the West Coast surfing champion at one time.
Oh,
Oh,
really?
I don't give the date anymore, but that's all I wanted to do. I worked for Randy Lowe Surfboards, who great guy in Huntington Beach, and I won the West Coast Surfing Championship one year. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah. So I had a question for you. What made you start doing props, making props for TV shows and movies?
Um, I was just forced to do that. Originally I was an actor, and I had a gun license at a young age, and I started doing weapons. And I was doing weapons when Yuta Aku, the designer, called me up and said they wanted me to be the prop master. And I was doing all nighters, couldn't do it, kept missing my interview. And finally, Yuta called me and goes, "Listen, Mark, you come here, you got the job. If you don't come here tomorrow, you don't, we'll go with somebody else." And so I went down there and they gave me videotapes, and I'm watching. I'm a big horror guy, huge Godzilla fan. And I'm watching this stuff going, "Oh my God, this is fantastic. They're going to make a TV show out of this." But I was never a fabricator. In fact, I'm a prop master. Prop masters don't make props. Everybody thinks, oh, he's a prop master who makes, They don't do that. We hire
Yeah.
people to do it. It's just Power Rangers had no budget. There was no money.
Yeah.
So there was nobody for me to send it out to because I didn't have any budget to do. So I started building things out of desperation and not inspiration. So and plus a lot of that stuff was made, on the fly. Most of my cool stuff came from, just throwing. Oh, we should do this, And what a luck! I mean, it was a blast, to do something like that. There's a lot of stress, but but that's how it all came about.
Yeah.
It's not something that, and everybody always talks to me, goes, "Yeah, I want to do that. I want to be a prop master." Dude, it's not the same thing. You guys, Power Rangers was a very rare situation. I had fun
Yeah.
doing it though. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
So, how many seasons of Power Rangers did you work on?
the first 10 from the first day of Power Rangers to I left during the Red Forever on
Forever Red,
uh,
yeah. The
well,
10th
well,
anniversary one.
yeah. We found, I found out Disney was going to slowly fire everybody after that that last episode, and they were going to take the show to New Zealand. So I just
Okay.
I had an offer to work on. Oh, I can't even remember the show, but I took the show. I can't even remember. It's like a tip two detectives. Wow, I can't remember it. But anyway, I went on to another show after 10 years.
And movies. What kind of movies have you worked on?
Well, I like horror films, so I've worked with Rob Zombie on a couple. I did Devil's Rejects. I
Okay.
did weapons on that, and then I was the onset prop set master on Halloween. But I did Piranha 3D and just a slew
Oh, you
of
did Piranha 3D. Okay, I
yeah.
have seen that one. Yes, that one's a very interesting movie.
Yeah, and then they made Piranha Double D or whatever, a low budget version of it. But
Yeah.
I thought Piranha 3D was going to be a bigger hit, but it wasn't. But
So,
I worked with Robert England. I worked with everybody, like 2001 Maniacs. Robert England directed a movie, and I propped it for him. I love doing horror films, but the problem with horror films is, like, the guy that I work with normally is a guy named Scott Buckwald, and I was going on to do, like, I think it was either Dead or House of the Dead 2. And he's like, hey, why don't you stay with me? And, we could team up together. And he was doing the Prestige at Universal. And I came and I worked with him. And there's, like, every known actor, Bowie and Like some of the just like some of the greatest actors in the world. It's a big budget film, and I left it to do some low budget because I was a big fish in a little pond. There, I was nobody. But the problem is there's just no money, and it's low budget. It's union, but low budget. I made 3 times the amount of money working with Scott, so I stopped doing my low budget horror films and I started working with Scott. But I also did like Sarah Connor Chronicles, and I did a slew. ABC. Yeah, it was a good show. I loved working on it. My last shows that I was working on, and I did Queen of the South, Lucifer, Dead to Me, and the show that I was on right when all hell broke loose and the strike started was The Old Man with Jeff Bridges and John Lithgow.
Oh,
It was a really good show. I was bummed to walk away from that one. It's a good show.
So I saw a post on your Facebook saying that people get mad that you're making the power coins and the dragon dagger and stuff. What is with that? Because I don't understand it. To me personally, I bought your dragon dagger and it's like a piece of history, I mean, I have it right here. Let me,
This is the deal with that guy.
It's a piece of history. I love this idea,
And what's great is that's the one when you see JDF, that's that means something to me that was his dagger. And I make it for the fans. And it's not that. It's this is what happened. I'll try to throw this out, and I should drop these guys' name. This guy, I because of the strike, because I'm not working, I've opened up Horror Icona. Horror Icona, folks, join it. And I've been selling stuff, and other crew members have been giving me stuff. Hey, sell stuff. And a guy gave me some T-shirts, and they were cool T-shirts. And one of the T-shirts was a Chucky shirt from 2004. Comic-Con exclusive, and I put it up for $45 just because it's never been worn. It's just a cool piece, and this guy bought it, and I'm currently working on it's all industry people haunted house. It's going to be amazing. We're throwing it together as quickly as possible, but the talent we have is amazing. But I had to go out of state for a week, and I sold a bunch of stuff, and I had my wife send it off while I was gone because I don't like people waiting a long time, and I came back. My wife had gone to work, and I was laying in bed, and I woke up, and I see a message going, "Hey, what's the tracking?" And it's like, "Oh, tracking! Well, all this stuff has been sent away." And I looked at the phone and PayPal and everything, and I couldn't find any information on it. So I'm thinking, did I? And it was a week ago, so I'm like, did I lose this shirt? And so I go, I might have made a mistake. And then the guy starts giving me crap, like, what do you mean? How unprofessional? I'm like, whoa, and the guy's totally, it got worse and worse all through the day. And then my wife came home, and I go, listen, we're going to PayPal this guy. Just give his money back. He's a pain in the ass. And I realize this story is kind of long, but so, I sent his money back, and she goes, well, by the way, you gave me the wrong address. I still have that shirt I need to send away. And I'm, oh my God, I have the shirt. And so, so I told, and so I just wrote the guy, you know what, I have the shirt, but I'm keeping it. You're a pain in the ass. And, and he, the next day, he copied everything I said and put it up and went on a prop page. And him and his boyfriend or his buddy, I got to watch my mouth with this cat, but are on the page bad mouthing me, going, yeah, these prop guys, they recast props and sell them. And I'm going, what is this all about? And I realized, oh my God, it's the guy that I didn't let buy the T-shirt. And, and he's like bitching, they both bitching me on this prop page. And the first thing I say, and he goes, explain yourself, Mark Richardson. I go, oh, first of all, why are you on a prop page bitching about a T-shirt? That ain't nothing to do with props, And two, because his friends going, you're a ripoff, you scammed him. I'm like, what? I go, once I realized he didn't have the shirt that day, I paid him all his money. How am I scamming him? But they're trying to make me look bad. And I go, let me talk to you about me making my props. These are from my original mold. I was the prop master on that show for 10 years. These are things I created. It's not like I'm getting some iconic Star Wars props and remaking it and say, or I'm saying this is screen used. I've never said it's screen used. I always say these are from the original mold. You want a piece of history? Here it is. And what gets me is you're going to bitch at me when everybody out there is remaking the coins.
Oh yeah.
and I don't mind it. That's cool to me, and to be honest with you, they do a better job. But but still, it's not from me. When you get it from me, you get a COA saying, "Hey, you're buying it from Mark Richardson." It's a little bit of Power Ranger history. But for these guys, I mean, I was just blown away by these guys going at me. It's like over something, and they're trying to make me look, bad. And I'm like, and what I did, like when I was writing the guy, and he said something like, you get all aggro, or I don't know what his words were, but only because I asked you for tracking. And I'm like, I never got upset with you. You got upset with me the whole time. But I noticed that you were a pain in the ass. I noticed that you were a bitch. And I go, I don't want to deal with a bitch. And I go, to prove my point, we're on a prop page and you're complaining about something that you have no right to be complaining about. I gave you your money right back that day, and you're trying to make me look bad. And it's funny because whoever owned the prop page, once they read this and realized what the guy was doing, they shut everything down.
Okay.
But I never blocked the guys. And like somebody goes on my page and goes, wow, I'm interested in this t-shirt. And the other guy, his boyfriend guy, he's like, no, he's a scam. Yeah. And I was like, how is this a scam? But, then I realized who he was and I blocked him. So
Yeah.
I'm sure they're going to raise their ugly head. This is my problem. And it's always been my problem. It's been my problem with Power Rangers. I'm a punk rocker. I've been in punk bands all my life. And so I have kind of a weird, kind of like, don't screw with me attitude, and I guess these guys think that, when they buy stuff from people, I'm like, oh, sorry, and I'm not that way. It's just not in me, I mean, because what started it all that got me angry was the guy goes, you sold this t-shirt from under me and don't have the guts to tell me. I'm like, you know what?
Oh, jeez.
I could care less about that. I go, I would have told you I would have done it, and I would have just blocked you. I go, no, and then when I got the t-shirt, and I put the t-shirt back up for sale right away to let them know that I'm not lying. I have the t-shirt. I just don't want to sell it to you, But
yeah.
But that's where the whole mold thing and remaking stuff come from. And, that's how that went down. And whatever. What gets me is I say whatever, but for a week, I'm going to come back with better comebacks and what I should have wrote and what I should have said, and and then after a while, well, what will happen is I'll get into a fight with somebody in a car, and that will take away from this. I'll forget all about it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I'm looking for a good fight, folks, if you want to fight with me to get this out of my system.
Sounds like somebody a punk rocker would do. Same thing with a metalhead. I'm a metalhead. I play heavy metal guitar.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I have a couple of albums out. I don't really talk about Power Rangers because it's punk rock. But if you ever look up Indoor Fiends, my first band was the Hypnotics. We were the first band Enigma Records ever signed, and they went on to sign all kinds of bands. Now it's like 100 Hypnotics, but if you look up Hypnotics Indoor Fiend on YouTube or 647F Punk Rock,
okay,
YouTube, all that stuff comes up.
Yeah, I would definitely go check that out. I'm curious and see what it sounds like. Always I love listening to new music or really old music that's new to me.
Yeah.
So I did see that you have released the Trini daggers. I was not expecting to see that on your page when I went on there today.
Yeah. I've had the molds for a long time. The problem is I always thought I used like the Dragon Dagger, the coin, and I molded it with the coin like I did the Dragon Dagger. And I'm looking at the photos and I'm going, no, what did I don't know. I couldn't figure out what I used and what I think I used back then. I think I used it off like some bootleg toy, and it was just a small emblem because the coin was too big. And so I had to find that emblem, and I looked for it forever. And originally I was going to make them for JDF. And I was getting ready to do it. And, that all happened. So, so I go, I'm going to start selling them now. So, I mean, I love Trini and I love Jason, so it's cool. I do not mind selling that stuff.
Yeah.
I was making something else, JDF, right when this all went down. Him and his brother on the series wore like this arrowhead necklace, and I made one for him. He just wanted one just to have, and I made one for him. And I've been thinking about just making them and selling them like really cheap because they're cheap. But I might do that. I'm thinking about it.
There's something
Yeah.
people would love to buy for sure. I would buy one of those.
I'm molding right now. I'm just pulling out of the mold. They're kind of a pain in the ass. Um, I'm not going to have them light up because that was too much. Turtle belt buckles. I'm going to be selling those soon. I've had the molds forever. I just never made many of them. I'm going to start making them. And, I'm not working, so I'm looking around for stuff to make and sell.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So do you have any questions for him?
Yeah, I actually had a couple. Well, I think one of the interesting things is you worked on Power Rangers for 10 years. Specifically, you worked on Power Rangers Turbo, and you must have been there when they did the transition of changing Rangers. So my question is, did you have to remake some of the props specifically like halfway into the season, or they just rolled with what they had?
Yeah, no. I didn't have to make anything. And those kids were great. Everybody was great. I was bummed, that they left. Yeah. Yeah, but I remember it was weird seeing the little kid running around. That guy's huge now.
Yes, I've seen him.
Yeah,
You
I've
gotta
done
play
Comic
Justin.
with him. He's a nice guy too.
Yeah,
Don't
no,
mind
he's a
him.
sweetheart. I used to make him things like for Halloween. I made him like this big, ridiculous, I don't know, space bounty hunter, like shoulder pads with a big machine gun on the side and stuff. He'd run around the set with it and stuff. It's good to have a prop master for a friend for Halloween.
There you go. Yeah.
Let me ask you, did you work on this is since we're Cowabunga Ranger Talk, this is probably an obvious question we would ask you. Did you work on the crossover episodes?
With Ninja Turtles?
Yes.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about it? What you made there?
I'm trying to think. I don't remember making. I just sold a prop because I found it and I didn't know what it was from, and I realized, oh my god, this is from Ninja Turtles. It's like this weird giant belt buckle radio thing, and I, me, I find stuff. Oh, if you don't know me, when I find stuff, a lot of times I just throw it away. I mean, I give it away really cheap, and I think I sold it for like $200, and I see this stuff for like $3,000 like a month later. But I do remember. I got to work D'Artagnan, and I got just his facial expressions. They let me work it. The guys that did the puppeteering, and I remember I got playing with that. And I just remember we had the van, and I remember we had a like a sewer lid.
The Hummer, the big Hummer that the turtles had. Yeah.
And they kept standing right on top of it. It was supposed to be open and a big hole, and I'm like, I kept going. I couldn't see, so they didn't cut it. When you watch, I guess that episode, they're standing on the big hole. They should have fallen in, but they don't.
Yeah, they use that clip a lot in this show. We literally just reviewed the first season of the show, and we were talking about how they would use that splice footage, and it doesn't matter. Leonardo's kidnapped, and then Leonardo's driving the van. Something like that would happen. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, it was great. It's funny because the prop master I work with now, Scott Buchwald, he was a PA on the first Ninja Turtles, and he every once in a while he'll bring his crew jacket. Back when crew jackets, we used to get crew jackets, but that's his like prized possession is his Turtles crew jacket. It's pretty funny.
I totally believe that. I mean, that's a big movie, and people still love it today.
Have they done? I know I have the turtle stuff that I have is I collected the Universal Monster ones when they first came out. And did they ever do anything like with the cartoons where they were Dracula and Frankenstein and stuff like that?
Yes, actually they did.
A one-off in the original cartoon, right?
Actually,
really?
I'll be right back. Okay, just 1 second.
All right.
Yeah, I know that they did it.
Hang on. That guy is such a. I can't stand him. Every time he comes on, he just drives. I'm kidding. What were you saying? Sorry.
Yeah, they did the crossover. They did a crossover episode in the original show, and then in the 2012, they did a cartoon where they did some. Oh, look, Leonardo is the Wolfman, the Raphael's the Mummy, that type of stuff. And they did it as a one-off episode. Yeah, they
You
were
know
pretty
what?
cool.
Every once in a while, don't talk about them no more. Hey, buddy. Hey. There
you
he is.
go. This guy.
That's
The
great.
Frankenstein.
That's cool.
Yeah. Is that what you're talking about? The little Frankenstein guys, and yeah.
Yeah, a little.
Keep talking.
If you come into our prop truck, if you ever come by and you come see us, we have a big Leonardo in the prop truck.
Oh, nice.
I gotta see that. I gotta see that. Awesome.
The prop master was working on the shield, and he was in this old abandoned house, and in the corner was like a Leonardo about that big, and so that lives in our prop. Like we have a little shrine for him. So I hope you like that.
That'd be really cool to see.
Yeah, actually. Actually, yeah, I'm actually a 3-time animated series creator. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I have 3 TV shows. I did their copyrights. I wrote the series Bible. I designed them. I made the toys. I did the whole stuff. So that's a little background on me.
Wow, that's fantastic! Congratulations.
Yeah, and I was looking at some of your stuff, and I was like, yeah, that'd be cool if I can get a couple of actors together to do sort of an animated short or something. I don't know if it'd be have to show you more stuff about it, obviously, but just.
Where are you at?
I'm in Florida.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Where are you?
LA.
Yeah.
Well, I'm in Valencia. I shouldn't say that, Valencia, but I'm from Huntington Beach. But I kind of.
Yeah, I've been to LA a couple times. It's a lot of traffic, but it's nice.
Yeah. Well, I always go like I'm getting ready to go to the Halloween Horror Nights in Florida. I love it. It's amazing. I love it.
I actually was at PowerCon a few years ago when for some fluke chance they put me next to Mark Taylor, the creator of He-Man, and he was super nice to me, and like that was like such a special moment, and I was like, wow, this guy doesn't have to treat me at this level as a peer. This is the creator of He-Man. I'm Mascot of Fighters, well, whatever, and he's like treated me so nice. So I can't say any more great things about that guy, and it's fun.
I'll tell you I shouldn't say sucks about stuff like that. When it's people you idolize and they're wonderful, you immediately get this weird guy romance. Like I'll work with actors. Then like Billy Bob Thornton, I worked with him and I'm like in love with him, because I admired him. But when you see how wonderful these people are, you're like, oh, I love him. He's so cool. There's so many actors out there that are so unbelievably cool. They're great actors and they're cool. I love that. I've worked with a lot of dicks, but there's a lot of them that are just wonderful. And yeah, I dig that. I dig that when there's somebody you admire and they really are. They come through that way. That's so cool. I must disappoint a lot of fans when they meet me, though.
No, actually, since you're into horror and stuff, at another Comic-Con, I was presenting and I was, with my table and my things and my posters and my stuff, and I had a chance to meet Robert Englund, He was closing up and he was literally walking out the door, and his handler was like, we gotta go. And then I was like, hey, can I take a picture? And I was like, yeah, sure. And then he was nice enough to take a picture with my Mascot Fighters, and he's like putting on my tag, like he's gonna slice me or something. That was one of the coolest pictures you know what I mean? You didn't have to do it because you worked conventions. When they say get out, it's the band's waiting or whatever.
That's the reason I love Mad Monster conventions. Mad Monster, they always are so isolated in the area. You get up to go to breakfast, and there's Kane Hodder, who's Jason, Robert Englund, Pinhead. They're all having breakfast, and you could even sit down at the table and eat with them. That's the reason, because they're out in the middle of nowhere. Usually at some of these cons, they want to get back to their hotel, want to get back to their home. And that one, for some reason, they always hang out. I was doing Robert was directing a film, and me and my assistant, a guy named Nick Principe, who went on to be a Chrome Skull and laid the rest series. But whenever Robert, not that he was always yelling at people, but whenever he kind of be disappointed, he would go into Freddie's voice.
Oh,
And so,
really?
you know, like all of a sudden we'd hear, why isn't the light over there? And me and my assistant were like, holy shit, would run out. And we'd sit there watching them, you know, I need the light over here. And he'd look over and see us. He goes, God damn you prop guys. I'm not Freddy Krueger. You know, because we're like, he's angry. He's great. He's a good guy, though. I like him. I did a 2001 Maniacs with him, too. And they hadn't, they had moved, they did a different Jason with Freddy versus Jason. And I was doing at the same location that they were doing 2001 Maniacs. I just finished Devil's Rejects. I did a shootout, and I was doing the reshoots for 2001 Maniacs. And I went to Eli Roth, who was the producer, and I go, hey, the fans are bummed that Kane Hodder isn't being Jason versus Freddy. He's right across the hill doing Rob's movie. You want me to go ask and see if we can do a cameo with him? And they hadn't done a cameo yet, ever. And I got him to be in their first cameo is 2001 Maniacs. That was kind of cool. And it was cool that everybody, you know, went along with it and stuff, wanted to do it.
Yeah. Have you ever worked, by the way, I mean, since you make props, have you ever worked with Bat in the Sun? Because they've done a lot of independent, like Ninja Turtle stuff and Power Ranger stuff, like Power Rangers versus whatever.
Who?
Yeah.
Bat in the Sun Productions. They work with JDF. The Bat in the Sun Productions. They do a live action like okay, one of the Street Fighters versus a Ninja Turtle or something like that, prop making and stuff like that.
But then again, you know, like I said, I'm not a prop maker. I'm a prop master. You know, all these other shows. I'm a weapons expert. All these other shows, very, you know, like all my low budget stuff, my trauma. You know, like I said, I made them because I had to. But once you
Out of necessity, yeah.
Yeah, well, you know, all these TV shows and stuff, unless it's some special prop that, you know, I go, hey, I could do it. I mean, I was working on a show called Stitchers, and I'm sitting there, and the director's going, I want this weird devices this guy has. Have you ever seen, this guy's talking to me, have you ever seen Power Rangers? I want to make like a Power Ranger device. And I go, really? I think I could do that. You know, I was like, he had no idea that I was the prop guy that made those Power Rangers devices. But usually, you know, it's all shipped out. You know, now for the last 20 years, I very seldom get to make props. It's all done by better people.
Man.
I miss it. I had a lot of fun doing that. And don't get me wrong, I do low budget films for my friends, and that, you know, where I do the whole bit where I'm, you know, like my friend James makes these like really low budget films, but he gets like premieres at Grauman's Chinese Theater and stuff, and I make weapons. You know, it's all monsters and stuff, and I get to make my wacky Power Ranger props, and I enjoy it. But on these other shows, it's too big budget. And I wouldn't want that. Pressure is way too high because you have, you know, on Power Rangers, they were like, go make it, and I just go make it here. Okay, all right, we'll just use it. On these shows, you know, you have showrunners, producers, directors, even actors, buying and stuff, and it's just a lot of pressure. So it's easy for me, you know. I know the best of the best prop makers in the world, so I have them do it, and they're always thrilled to death when it comes back. And I know for a fact, if it was me making it, they would not be thrilled to death. You know, I'll come back with a alarm clock and a G.I. Joe tank glued to it with Slinky painted Billy blue. You know, here you go. And stick a sparkler in it. There you go. You know?
I had a question towards the end of your run, because you said you went up to the Forever Red, the 10th anniversary. The rumor was this is me and probably David's heard this, and basically a lot of people have heard that Bandai was the one that had to step in and like help pay for the rest of the Rangers to come in because the studio didn't want to do it anymore. They didn't want to do the anniversary, the 10th.
Well, you got to remember that Saban had already sold it to Disney.
Yeah,
so Saban, he could care, you know, and Saban, it was like $1 billion. I mean, he sold the whole ABC Family Channel. He sold that to Disney, everything, and that's how Freeform started and stuff. Um, uh, so he didn't care. Saban had already, he made so much money.
He was
I
already
don't
out. Yeah.
know if that's true, but I mean, I could see that. I mean, it was a big episode. It was a great. I thought it was a great send off for Saban. Too. So who knows? It was just going to make a crap load of money for Bandai. So of course, because that's all. Our show was a half hour toy commercial, and that's the reason why everybody's telling me that Hasbro's going to let it go. I doubt it. Hasbro's going to do the same thing. They're going to make new toys every year, new Zords, new actors. They're going to, it's a proven show that works. Whatever the system is, that lightning in the bottle works over and over and over. Disney did everything in their power to wreck that series, and it kept surviving. It still survives, So I think Hasbro's going to take it, and in 2 years, it's going to be just as big as it always was. I hope. I don't want it to die out. I love that show.
I don't think it'll die out either. There's no way. They bought it for $526 million. You're not going to throw away $526 million.
Well, what's funny too is what show, like the other day, somebody sent me a photo, and it was the Green Ranger with a dragon dagger, and the dagger was all bit. It was a stunt one. It was all bent, and the guy showed me it to me. I go, maybe I thought it was some knockoff show from India, because I didn't recognize the knife, and I go, well, maybe it's Japanese footage and it was supposed to be a different weapon. And then I stopped and I looked at it, and I go, oh, no, it's just a broken dragon. It's just bent. And they're like, how can this be bent? And I'm like, dude, you're probably 35 years old. When you first saw this, you're probably 6. You watched it in your garage or in your tree fort, or what, in your blanket fort on the living room with your little black and white TV, or a little color black and white, whatever, and you thought it was the greatest thing in the world. Now you're 35, you got your flat screen HD 65-inch TV, and you're still framing everything. Yeah, you're going to see a lot of mistakes, folks. It's just like, and what are you doing? Well, I shouldn't say that. It's like going, hey, I was watching the Teletubbies the other day, and I was drinking my beer going, wow, I don't remember having that antenna. That's kind of weird. To me, it's just weird. Whatever.
So speaking of,
I'm glad people, they get old. I mean, I remember, speaking of sparklers, reading a thing on drinking games in college, where every time Billy lit a sparkler in his device, you drink. That was one of the drink things. They're like, it was hysterical of all the things that and we do over and over on Power Rangers, and they would drink. That's in college, so. Right.
So speaking of Saban, was there any other Saban shows you worked on?
All of them.
All of them. Was so VR Troopers, Beetleborgs,
Mask Rider. The only one I didn't work on, and I wasn't the prop master. They'd bring me on to help them, or they would just bring me on back and forth and stuff. But the only one I didn't work on, Sweet Valley High, and I didn't work on that Knights of Durin or whatever, the one that was shot in Ireland. But Beetleborgs, VR Troopers, all those shows I worked on, every single one of them. I have many stories about every and each and one of them.
Oh, I bet. Especially probably VR Troopers probably has some good stories,
Yeah. We did like a comedy reel. I don't know if they've ever seen it, where Zordon, the Rangers are supposed to appear, and it's the VR Trooper guys, and they're like, what's going on? And Zordon's like, I don't understand. Alpha, what happened? She goes, I don't know what's going on. I don't, It was pretty funny. And the guys are like, in their costume going, what's going on?
That's awesome.
You ever read the little story that I did? What time is it where you guys are at?
Same time as you. I'm in Washington State. So I'm same time as you are. And yeah.
But you're on late at night?
Yeah, because I work with, so he's in Florida, I'm in Washington, so I go by his time. So I can do it, work with him.
All right, because the first season, and I had every Ranger behind this. I'm talking Kimberly, Trini, I mean, Amy Jo was in it, a Tree was in it, and Zach and Walter. Everybody wanted to do this for the rap party, and we were going to film it. But what it was it's kind of risque, but it was Power Ranger condoms. May the power protect you, and each one of the power coins was going to have a condom in it, the color of the Rangers. For some reason, Zach's was longer than the most, but I'm not sure why. And we were going to shoot it. We're going to do it. We're going to do it in the command center and everything. And so many people got involved, and so many people want to do it. I think it was either Jonathan's, one of the main producers, just came out, knocked on the prop door, I opened the door, and he goes, "Don't you dare!" What? "Don't you dare, Mark." "What are you talking about, Jonathan? I don't know what you're talking about." "You know what I mean. If I see you guys shooting anything like anywhere, I will. Your ass is grass." Like, okay. So I thought, no, we're not going to do this.
Too bad. That would have been funny to have, just
Oh my God,
off to the side.
So I think I have, like, I one of these days. I mean, did you see where I found that? One of my kids had that Green Ranger prop, where it took the power. He loses his power. And
Oh yeah, the little robot looking thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My my kid was, "Hey, Dad, did you ever know I kept this?" I'm going, "Oh my God, I would have sold that for $50 20 years ago." And, now it's priceless. It's, there is very seldom Green Ranger devices, and she just had it in her closet. It's just kind of funny. And I go, "Hey, want me to sell it for you?" She's like, "Nope." But you never know.
Yeah. So, what was the most funniest moment you've had with JDF?
That bastard. I loved him. I mean, I had a bunch of them, but I think my most memorable one, we're at a beach. I know this beach. I can't remember the beach, but we're up on a hill, and he's dressed as the Green Ranger, and I got my shorts on and stuff, and Leo Creel. We're at Leo Creel Beach, and we have probably about 50 extras, beachgoers in the scene. And he's literally in his outfit, and he comes up on the rocks, and he walks over to me, and he goes, "Hey, everybody, can I have your attention?" Everybody comes around. He's gathering all the background, and I'm looking. I'm like, "What is he doing?" He goes, "This is our prop master. This is Mark Richardson." And I'm thinking, "Oh, cool. He's giving me a shout," and everybody's like clapping and stuff. Very cool. He goes, "I want you to see this," and he pulled down my pants.
No.
Standing there, I mean, in shock, thinking, I'm butt ass naked in front of 50 people right now. And I look over, he's got his helmet. The Green Ranger has just pantsed me. And I just remember just being in shock, that someone would do that. And I remember pulling away my pants and walking away and stuff. Years later, I was with me and my sister Banner. We're at a Morphicon, and he's signing autographs. He sees me and he goes, "Oh, Mark, Banner, come over here." We come over. He goes, "Come here." And he goes, "Everybody, this is our prop master." And I immediately grabbed my pants. He is not going to pull my pants down. I thought for sure he was going to, but he didn't. He just gave us a shout out. But I think that was the most surreal moment I had with him.
So, Hasbro makes the helmets. Did you guys have to make those helmets, or does somebody else make the helmets?
Originally made them. The Soda Effects originally made them, and then I can't think of the other guy that made them. But we've had different effects artists make them and stuff, but we never made them.
That's one thing that Hasbro's community complains about, that they're not perfect, And what I can see of them, they're perfect to me, but I know there's people out there that just nitpick at every little detail of everything.
Well, when I was a kid, you'd buy like the Batman belt, and it was nothing like the Batman belt. At least this stuff is close to it,
Oh yeah, but that's like the blaster that they have on Power Rangers. The one Bandai sold over here is not even the same one. It's
I never understood that. It was black and red and stuff. And thank God we got, because we didn't. I don't know. Did the Japanese? I've never even thought about this. Do they use the toy, the toy morpher and the toy gun on the show, or is that just us out of laziness or not being able to get them?
You know, I'm not too sure. I know they look identical to the toys. Um,
Yeah, I bet you they use the toys. I bet you they did the same thing. I always think, but I always loved that. In fact, I was begging them at one time to do a commercial, and I think it would have been a huge hit where the more, the Power Rangers are out there because it was right down the street. And this actually happened. My girl forgot to take my prop kit, and I'm on set, and they're on second unit, like probably about 15 miles away in Lake Hughes, and she calls me and she goes, I can't, I forgot their morphers. And I always have the stickers and I have all the stuff in the van that she has and stuff. And I go, how many do you need? She goes, well, I need at least one. And I go, ugh. I go, oh wait, just run to Walmart, buy the toy, rip it open, just put the stickers on it. I go, it'll work. And she did. She went to Walmart. It came with the gun, but and she put the stickers on it, and they shot, and nobody even knew about it. But I thinking that would be a great commercial for Walmart, where the Power Rangers can't morph, so they run into Walmart and get their morphers out of the toy section.
that would even be good today,
It would. It's pretty wacky. But yeah, it was also the reason why, there's probably about 500 people saying they have screen use morphers, because after that, I just had, because I got them for free. We just had boxes of them. The only ones were the Green Ranger one, and he was the worst. The reason why I started using my resin coins is because at the end of the day, he would give his morphers away. It's like, I can't get those, they were plastic plated coins. We can't give those, and they were the Japanese. I mean, these things go for like, what, $10,000 now, the Japanese morphers?
It's expensive, yeah.
I just started doing American morphers, spray painting them gold and putting Velcro on and sticking on there, and he could, let him give, and he would give those away. I mean, it got to the point where at least maybe twice a week he would give those out. So I just would come with boxes of that stuff. I used to, that communicators, they would give those away. Communicators were a pain in the ass because I have to, they were difficult to make. And, I would beg them, please, at the end of the season, because they go, oh, we want to keep the communicator. And I can't say no, I love these guys. So, yeah, okay. They didn't giving up friends and stuff. That's the reason why so many people have that stuff. Even the Dragon Dagger, Jason Frank would like, well, come on, that's a big build for me. And I was like, please, but whatever. You want to make these people happy, so you let
them. Yeah, of course.
Are you guys stoked that David Yost is back?
Yeah, actually, that was pretty cool. I think that was a smart move on their part, for the fans, having Lord Zed and David Yost. Who is playing Lord Zed now? Do you know?
I don't know.
You don't know. But yeah, having David Yost as the Blue Ranger, back as the original Blue Ranger, is pretty neat to see. Can't wait to see that series. But the communicators, would you ever build those again?
I could. I mean, they're just watch parts that I could put together. I might. I mean, Starlight makes them, and they do a perfect job. So, I don't know. Do I want to make it? Because if I make them, I have to charge more because it's me, making it. So, these people, they don't understand. These other people making this stuff, they got 3D printers and they pop that stuff out. I'm doing it the cool way, pouring them up with resin, screwing it up and wrecking everything, So, I don't know. It's difficult. I mean, even the Yellow Ranger Daggers were a pain in the ass to make for me. Didn't, And by the way, I haven't sold one, by the way.
Okay. I was going to ask that.
Yeah, I have not sold one of those. And they're from the original mold. So anyone want a Yellow Ranger Dagger? Come on. And they're expensive to make. And it hurts when, right now when I'm not working, I got to get back to work. Although this haunted house, if it's successful, then, we might make some money off it, but we'll see. I'm not getting a paycheck. It was great because, like I say, it's a industry haunted house. And the guy that is pretty much producing it is the head of a place called Dangling Carrot. It's a fabricator graphics store that everybody uses. Universal Studios, Warner Brothers, well, and they did all my graphics on Power Rangers. The guy, all these companies are dead in the water. All the, everybody, it's not just actors and crew members. It's businesses. There's no business, so they can't. So so the guy wakes up like 2.5 weeks ago. I'm gonna do a haunted house, and that was the first person he called. He goes, "I want to do a haunted house. Are you on board?" And I go, "Let's do it."
So where's this haunted house at?
It's in Santa Clarita, Valencia.
Yeah.
If you come down, I'll get you in. But they went with, I came up with like a weird storyline, and they go, "Okay, we don't have time. Let's just go with it." And like 2 days later, they got the production design. They're all building everything. And I'm like, that's not scary enough. Everybody's gonna expect it to be scary. And so I wrote them. I go, "No, this is what I want to do." And they're like, "You can't change it. You can't." And I think they thought I was going to change it every other day. So they let me have a couple of my new ideas, but it's good. It's going to be scary. It's going to be creepy. Every year at this time, I get this allergy cough. Sorry, guys.
Oh, it's okay.
Not COVID. You guys are fine.
I'm not worried about COVID. I've had all my vaccines.
Yeah. When I was working, we'd have to we get tested every day because we were around actors and stuff.
Oh, that's nuts.
So what?
Oh, I was gonna say, is there anything about this haunted house that's so outrageously different compared to all the other haunted houses out there?
Yes. The Ninja Turtle room is going to be off the hook. I'm kidding. I just excited for a second. Yeah, there is. There's a couple things that animatronically, because like I say, we have industry people working in there. And they go, "Okay, let's treat it like a movie." There's a couple things that are going to happen in there that I've never seen in a haunted house, and I'm Mr. I'm from in fact, I'm wearing a Knox Scary Farm T-shirt right now. It's their 50th year. I've been going there since it opened, and this is the 50th year. I've gone to every Universal one. I've done Queen Mary. I do all those. I've done Universal, but I'm going to go do a Knox Scary Farm tomorrow, and I love them. But this room's going to be there's going to be a couple of really spectacular things if we pull everything off, and I think we will.
Awesome. Yeah, so it's open to the public right now, the haunted house, or
yeah, it'll be it's open to the public, of course, because we want their money, but it won't open until the second week of October. So we got 2 weeks of making. We're going to keep it open until Halloween. So we're going to work our ass off for 2 weeks of work. But you know what? We work our ass off for a movie, that plays in, an hour and a half. So this is kind of like the same thing.
Yeah, it sounds like a blast. So is there anything else you would like to ask, by the way, before we go?
You worked on Big Bad Beetleborgs, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's my question. What was up with their budget? Like, it was weird. They had so many background characters. They had like 6 or 7 background monsters, plus they had the kids, plus they had the suit actors that are adults. Their budget was, I don't know. Their budget seemed like you could be spending that money on other places. You know what I mean? Like, why do you need a Frankenstein with like a butt on his head, and you have a Dracula, and you have all of these other like? I get the idea that the Flubber character is so.
Yep.
I turned off his volume because I get
like comedy kids in the comic shop, so it's like, I don't know. It always seemed like you have a lot of money that could be going to different places, and you had the lady that was the comic store owner.
Yeah, believe me, it didn't make sense at all to me either. I liked the haunted house, but all that was because there were certain toy rights that we didn't have, or Bandai didn't have, and so that's the reason why. If you look at Big Bad Beetleborg, a lot of stuff they had was more Flubber than it was the Beetleborgs. They had the haunted house, they had each of their characters and stuff, And that it was just like I say, it was a toy commercial. They were just trying to push stuff out there for kids to buy the toy, and it didn't do well. It was it didn't go as well as VR Troopers or Masked Rider. But yeah, I don't know what was up with that and stuff. And everything that I did on that show was because like the prop guy was afraid of spiders or afraid of snakes.
Wow.
And so I would have to come over and work on them. Yeah. And disasters, there was back then, now you can't do that. You got to have an animal wrangler and stuff. But back then they're like, hey, get Mark over here. We want to put a tarantula on some hot glue string and make it look like it's on a cobweb. And it was just a disaster.
Wow.
But, I in fact, I found a prop from Beetleborg. It's Frankenbean. Is that was his name? Frankenbean?
Yeah.
I found his arm like in a box. I'm like, why would I have this arm? And it was his arm. It's weird how I keep finding stuff. It's like, it's been like almost 35 years. I keep finding stuff. It's like it's like some kind of miracle, like weird Saban biblical thing where I open a box. How do I have this? How does this still exist? And of course, every time I open up a box, 20,000 starving fans start drooling. I'll buy it. Just real quick, because of the Halloween episode, my wife, my new wife, I looked at her and she was wearing JDF's ring from the Halloween episode, and I go, "Where'd you get that ring?" And she goes, "Oh, it was in one of your boxes." And I go, she goes, "I just really think it's cool. It's like a Dracula ring." I go, "Yeah, it is." It was the Dracula ring that I made Jason wear during the Halloween episode because he's Dracula, and that's the ring that Bela Lugosi, not that one, of course, I'd have to dig up out of the grave, but it's an exact replica of the one that Bela Lugosi was buried in. And I just love the fact that JDF wears that. Now she wears it. But
Yeah.
Happy Halloween, everyone.
Hey.
Yeah. And for my final question, because I know you have to go, and thank you for your time. Thank you for being on the show, by the way. It goes back to the 10th anniversary episode the Power Rangers did. Everybody came back, but they didn't bring back the Alien Ranger. They just had a voiceover that was kind of, I'm not even sure if it was the exact actor, but like every other actor was there, but they couldn't like make the Alien Ranger guy the helmet piece. Or do you know what happened there? Because
Really,
9 of the 10 Rangers are there.
Those pieces were pretty damn stupid looking, so I think they could have made it. My guess is they just couldn't get all the actors. Maybe they got one of them. A lot of these people go on and have careers, and a lot of them don't want to come back and do something, as wacky as Power Rangers. I'm sure it was something along those lines, or maybe they just said we have enough people. And the Alien Rangers was always kind of a weak storyline, I thought, even though Billy left with them. But that's my guess. They just didn't want to get, they didn't have to do, they felt they had enough people going.
Yeah.
But
was that supposed to be a 2-parter, or was that meant as just the one-off? Because I've heard different things, that it was supposed to be 44 minutes and it was 22 minutes, and then they cut off a lot of scenes. And
I don't know. I do not know. A lot of I just don't remember that stuff. It's so long ago.
That's what happens when you're a fan. You hear all this stuff in your head.
In all honesty, I didn't know I was. I brag about it all the time now that I was Lord Zed until a fan goes, I was told that you were Lord Zed in Turbo the movie. Oh yeah, I was, because all I did is lay in bed and rock back and forth next to Rita while she diva talks that I was snoring, but I forgot all about it.
And there you go.
What's that?
There you go. Your cinematic debut. Your Zord.
Thank God for the fans, because during the strike, they've even stepped up and, I have a couple of your coins, I'll buy a couple more. They've literally been supporting me, while I'm on the strike. So I have nothing but love for the fans, and I appreciate every one of them. And I'm so glad that, I get to be part of this in a weird way world, that I could do stuff with them because they're great fans. So it was the most amazing fan base I've ever seen. And I really do appreciate each and every one of them. And those two guys that I was bitching about, they weren't fans, by the way. They were Chucky fans, whatever.
Hey, everybody's different.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming on to the Cowabunga Ranger Talk. It was a pleasure having you. And hope we can stay in touch and maybe do another one of these podcasts sometime.
No problem. And remember, folks, Horror Icona, HORRORICANA. Join my page. Buy something off me. Buy a power coin. Do you know the story about the Pog, the White Ranger Pog?
No, but I saw when you got the White Tiger coin, you can get the Pog with it. I saw that.
I'll spit this out real quick. Back in the day, Jason comes up to me and goes, "Hey, they don't have a White Ranger Pog." I go, "Oh, wow, that's weird." And he goes, "Well, they have a Green Ranger Pog." I go, "Okay." He goes, "Let's make a White Ranger Pog." And and I was always okay. So we had a photo and we made these White Ranger Pogs. We made about 10,000. And so I get them and I have a box and I go, "Where do you want it to, we want to take it to comic book stores, or what do you want to do with these Pogs?" And he goes, "We can't sell them." I'm like, "What? You can't sell them? What do you, I have 10,000 Pogs." He goes, "The Pog's cracking down on me, man. I don't want to get in trouble. I'm sorry." I go, "Jason, I have 10,000 Pogs." So when you get that White Ranger coin, you get one of those Pogs, JDF's illegal bootleg Pogs. Kind of cool. But yeah, I literally, anyone that comes by my house, I'll be like, like lifting up boxes in the back, and there'll be like 8 Pogs. And they're everywhere. I'm going to be buried, and there's going to be Pogs in my. I've had those Pogs around me for years. But
We're gonna have to buy a. We're gonna have to buy a coin then.
Yeah, get that Pog.
All right. Well, thank you again.
All right. Happy Halloween.
You too. Happy Halloween, and